Our game schedule and more information on our website, www.conroerollerderby.com.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW-LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC-LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Everybody, what an afternoon we have here in Conroe, Texas. I mean, we are awash with all these storms that are coming through. And they said it's going to start around noon, and boy, did it. And when I pulled out of my driveway, it was like, was I going to need an ark or what to get down the street? Because it was so flooded. But luckily, Sam let me use the big car so I could get past all the water. But it is raining. And it's not too cold, so it's okay. But the rain, and it's all going to the east, and the east is going to be getting, snow and all kind of stuff going on. I'm just glad it's just like, 60 degrees or something like that. So, but it's just rainy. Okay, so anyway, I'm here with Richard, so don't worry, he's here. And we're going to be talking about, he has no idea what I'm going to start with. But because I just want to ask you, first of all, Richard, do you like M&Ms? Is that one of your favorite candies?
I mean, they're all right.
They're okay?
Yeah.
Does it bother you what they're doing?
I have no idea what they're doing.
Oh, you haven't heard? Okay. M&Ms.
Now I'm going to look it up because I know you're not going to tell me it correctly.
What do you mean I'm not going to tell you correctly? Why would I lie about M&Ms? I like M&Ms. M&M's peanut. But the M&M's people have had these characters on, and they thought it'd be really cute to take the M&M's and maybe humanize them. So they did, and they're real cute, and they have all the little ads before the movie, and it's just, they've done great things with them. Then they had one of them real sexy looking. She had high boots on and all. And I guess they got some backlash on that. And so they said, we need to incorporate a more, someone maybe identifying more with their male side. So they took her off. They were going to take her off and put this girl more masculine and in tennis shoes. And make it like that. So they did, and they got so much backlash from people saying, look, just make the candy. We just want to eat the candy. We don't care, about all that stuff. That's just ridiculous. And quit changing that around and just make the candy and just be focused on that, okay? That's what people got so upset with. So they said, well, we're going to do a little suspension time. We're going to suspend putting her out there for a while, and we're going to study this just a little bit more. So M&M's is not, I don't know what they do. Sit around in their meetings and they spread all the M&M's out and they look at all the videos and go like, let's do this, and we've got a complaint, and we want people to say, if we're going to do characters, you have to do a character representing everybody that is anybody that would eat your product. And I just can't imagine how those meetings go. It's just amazing. It's like Coca-Cola, for some reason, somebody, I don't know what's happened to them. They've gone brain dead because they said, we need to do, you remember how they changed the taste of cola, and then they went back to the original taste of cola, and now they've got something called like a party. I don't know what it is, but I mistakenly got it yesterday when I doing drive-through, and they gave me this, and I took a drink of it, and it tastes like they had poison the thing. It was horrible. It tasted horrible. And so I wanted to go back and say, what did you give me? And then I looked at it, and it's that new party something. I don't remember the name of it, but it was horrible. So if it doesn't say Coke Zero, Coca-Cola Zero, and it doesn't have any glitter or stuff on the label, you're okay. But if it's got the glittery, they're trying something else new, and it's just, y'all go back and do the taste test between Pepsi and Cola again. That was fun to watch all that. Do you remember that, Richard? Were you old enough to remember when they'd have those booths up and they have to taste? They want to know which one was better.
Oh no,
you don't remember?
I know like the Pepsi challenge. That's what. Like,
yes,
I remember that, but I don't remember like booths or anything. Like
well, they'd set them out on the street and they'd say, "Hey,
No.
would you want to taste this? Tell us which one you think is better," and did that for a while. And did you ever start drinking Pepsi? I drank it.
I've always drank Dr. Pepper.
You always drink Dr. Pepper?
I always drank like that's what the option.
Do you still like Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, but I don't really drink soda. Like if I go to a restaurant, I'll just get water.
That's great. How long have you been not drinking soda?
I don't know, 20 years.
Oh, 20 years?
20 plus years.
Oh, my word. That's
like my parents never really bought soda.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We could make a Jenga tower about this big with the boxes that we have left over.
What's ironic though is my mother like loves Diet Dr. Pepper, so she drinks more of that for the entire family.
Right.
So she considers it her coffee.
Does it have caffeine in it?
Probably.
Oh, see, I think the zero sugar is supposed to be like, okay, you're diabetic, Cindy, so you can't have sugar, so you have to do this zero sugar. Then I find out there's sugar that spikes your blood sugar level as well, even though it's not real sugar. It's not fair at all. So, but I still drink the zero.
You're drinking a soda right now.
I know it's diet. See, it says it in real little words, but it's diet, and it has a skeleton next to it.
Yeah.
It's Mountain Dew. I love Mountain Dew. But they were, when Mountain Dew came out, it was a big deal about there's a lot of caffeine in Mountain Dew and it'll make you crazy. And then they came out with Monsters. And so Monsters came out and the kids are drinking that like crazy. And I was too. I didn't know that was bad, that it had that much caffeine in it. And I took about 3 or 4 sips of it and it was zippity doo-dah the rest of the day. Those things wake you up. But I wanted to talk about M&Ms. I'm really sad that they're that stupid to do something like that. But it's not going to make me not eat the M&Ms anymore.
Well, I mean, I think it was an easy decision on their part.
To stop it?
Yeah. Well, they've been doing that campaign for decades.
Yeah, but not changing the character.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe they're like, oh, maybe this is the time we can try something different because we've been doing the same thing for. That always happens in big corporations. You know that.
I know they put pretzels in the. They put pretzels in the.
No,
the
I'm saying like
M&Ms.
the stick, like the whole idea of candies talking.
Yeah.
And they make. I mean, you think about all the years they've done commercials. I mean, that's what they've been doing. So they probably were like, "Oh, we try something different."
Poor baby Ruth.
What I would have said
Wouldn't you
is,
hate to?
if I was doing if I was on the social media, I'd be like, "Oh, we changed the shoes because that's what I just found out. That's why people were mad because they changed the shoes from like lady high heel boots to sneakers,
Right.
like everyone else." I was like, it was just easier to render it that way. That's what I would have told them. Like, it was just cheaper to make the graphics. Everyone has to have the same shoes, so it's cheaper.
We're going into the summer, so we were going to put her in.
Yeah.
Put her in that.
No, I'm talking about to make the commercial. It's just a lot easier for us to have everyone have sneakers, so don't we have to make new things?
Isn't that the truth? I don't know why they didn't put heels on the sneakers instead of doing like a boot. That was strange. But I feel bad for baby Ruth because
No one likes them?
it's because of how they've always been displayed in the movies and
as a piece
the
of poop
joke.
in the pool, yeah.
Yeah, and joke. And then for you to buy one and you unwrap it, that's what you're thinking of. I just, they don't advertise a lot on TV, but when they do,
You know what I always wondered is who's eating all this candy?
Who's eating all the candy?
Yeah.
Well, I was a big participant in
Yeah.
carnivore. That yes. So what? You don't eat candy?
No.
You don't eat candy at all?
No.
Oh, that's great. I love candy. I mean, I love sugar-free candy. There we go again. So I don't know what this stuff does to you, but it's
I mean, you only live like 70 years average, so like go
Yeah.
for it. I think you're already past that
I'm
point,
for-
so you're going for
yeah.
it.
I'm already 4 years over that.
So I mean, eat all the candy you want.
My dad finally figured that out about 80. He said, "You know what? I'm going to eat whatever I want to eat, and I
Yeah.
don't care what they say." I said, "Okay, Dad." I love that. That was a great
But
idea.
yeah, I don't really know everyone that like. I don't really know a lot of people who just pick up a pack of Skittles, just like to pick up a pack of Skittles. Like the only thing I would do is like if we're gonna have a birthday party,
Yeah.
we'll get ice cream, and then we might have like, Reese's Pieces or stuff to put on the ice cream for the kids.
You do that.
That's the only time I can think of like going out and purchasing candy on purpose.
Well, do you don't like sweets at all then?
No, I do. It's just I don't really like eating them.
Okay. Does it do something to your system or
No,
something?
I just don't really care for it.
Oh man.
I like beer.
Yeah, you like beer.
And I
And
like
so
soda in my cocktails.
What do you mean?
Like
you
a
mean
mixed drink.
Oh,
Like
mixed
I'll
drink.
drink a soda with a mixed drink. Yeah.
That's the only time that you.
really, yeah.
That's awesome. That's how you keep that svelte look. So
I mean,
that's
well, really,
good.
the question is you should be asking is how much water do you drink?
Do I drink
Yeah.
about 2 bottles a day?
So, 24 ounces.
They're not 8. They're 16 ounces.
Are they
each.
16 or 12?
They're 16.
Okay.
So it's 32 ounces. But I should be drinking 4
But you don't
to
drink
5.
you don't drink out of the sink or like the refrigerator. You drink water bottles. Like
Oh man, I would not drink. Oh, I would not drink.
you don't filter. You don't have a filter thing. So
No.
you're just throwing away like a pound of plastic a day.
Oh brother, yeah,
Yeah.
little,
There
yeah.
you go.
That's okay. But because that water, I mean, if they get the water right, that'd be fine. I mean, drinking out of the hose growing up as a kid, it was the best tasting water in the world. But to drink water out of the tap, and we're on a
That's the
septic
same
system.
thing. That's
No,
the same thing.
no, but we're on a septic system, and it scares me that stuff seeps in and you don't know what you're drinking.
Yeah, I would just get a filter.
Filter the water.
Yeah.
Then probably wouldn't taste very
Tastes
good
fine.
anyway.
Tastes fine.
How long can a water bottle sit in a car and
No telling.
it doesn't go bad?
I mean, I imagine it goes bad depending on how hot it is.
Texas Tech studied that so that you could figure out
Yeah.
how long you could, because you go in front of a gas station and they have all the water bottles.
Outside.
Huh?
Yeah, they have them all outside.
Yeah. And so how long they've been sitting there collecting dust and stuff like that. And so if you have to blow the dust off of them, probably it's too long out there. But they say it's amazing how long that they last, and they have.
How long do you think M&Ms last?
Why? M&Ms.
It's funny talk about changing that campaign. You know what's really odd is you have these spokes candies and then we're eating them, and that's probably why they really quit it, because it's like, hey, these kids are getting smarter and they don't like our candy because they think they're eating their friends.
The characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's a good point. I don't know. I don't like M&Ms, like the plain M&Ms. I never liked them.
fine.
I always kept trying to make them melt in my hand though.
Yeah.
I just felt like if I just held it long enough, I'm going
They're
to
fine.
make liars out of them.
The peanut butter ones are good.
Yeah, but they got now they have cookie or brownies.
They
or
probably have all sorts of
all
stuff.
kind of stuff now that they've stuffed in there. And the pretzels was strange.
Not bad.
You eat those too?
They're not bad.
Okay.
Like there's certain candies that are just terrible.
Like what?
Like Three Musketeers.
Isn't that the truth?
Like it's not that they're terrible. It's
There
like
wasn't
they're missing something. Like when you eat it,
Yeah.
it's like it's missing something.
Right, because it's
Now I can understand doing the Halloween sized ones because it's just like a nugget. Mm-hmm. Like I get that, but like to eat the whole bar, I'd be like, you're a monster.
no. There's
Eating the whole bar of Three Musketeers in one go, like oof.
There's nothing there. You're right. It's not there at all. And speaking of there, if I can get you off the candy
I was just thinking about
realm, is that I talked to Denton Florian this morning because I called and told him. I said, "Look, are you really busy today?" He said, "Okay, what do you got?" And I said, "What would you like to come on and talk about? There's so many things to talk about right now." And that's all he needed. He goes, "I know it." And he starts talking about it. And I'm looking at the clock and I'm going like, I got to get ready now. And I said, "Are you going to come on?" He says, "Call me tomorrow and I'll tell you about Thursday." And I said, "Let me call you and I'll tell you about Thursday because we may have another guy coming on Thursday." And he said, "Okay, just let me know." But he was too busy today to come. And we started talking about hiding things and wondering how good of a hide and seek player the Democrats are. And doing this thing, this has just gotten to be so fun to listen to. Where are the documents? Where are the secret documents?
Now they're announcing that Pence has documents now.
Pence, the first one they found them in
I'm glad somebody finally at the document handler warehouse is like, "Hey, we're missing some stuff. Let's just start searching." It's probably where that IRS money is going to.
I think so. Probably that's what will happen. They'll pay somebody off to find what he doesn't want found and then get rid of it. The shredder is working, but I can't believe how much notice he gets that they're coming to look for something in his beach house now. So they told him that they're gonna we're gonna come search your beach house. Do we have your consent?
Weird. It's so weird because you don't really know the system. You don't know if this is just a normal protocol every like 5 years. If you've had a certain level of clearance, they're like, "Hey, we're just gonna check." Like we just do a random check, kind of like a random audit.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, you've held this kind of access for over 2 decades. We're gonna start checking because no one keeps track of any of that stuff. Like, would you really get mad at the president and going like, "Oh, let me see that file," and he like Xeroxes it? You think he'd be like, "What are you doing?" You don't know one questions. It's like, "Oh, he's just making a copy." You know, it's like.
Well, what's funny is that you heard, I don't know if you've heard him talk about this word skiff. They go into a room. They have a room where the senators and the congressmen and all that can go in and read this stuff, but it's heavily, watched and all that. And so that's where he'd gotten documents from that when he was a senator, because you're not supposed to have. He can't take stuff home.
I mean, it's weird to me. Like, anybody that has classified documents, I'd love like the truth behind like why do you have this? Because I mean, majority of the time it's going to be nefarious things.
Everyone knows why he had them.
But no one even. Again, we talked about this the last time. It was like when you use the word classified, people think the worst. They think it's like it's the nuclear codes or something, but it probably isn't. I mean, it's probably blackmail stuff they have on, some other person they really don't like, and they like calling them once a year and be like, "Hey, man, guess what? I still got this document."
Well, what's so strange is that it's the Library of Congress no one knows. Not the Library of Congress. There's the DOJ and there's the ones that have to that are oversight of this, and they just now finding out that he had taken papers back when he was in the Senate,
why not?
And so it's like that the stuff that's in there, though, they say can be used or sold, and that's what they're worried about if they're selling it to people.
Well, that's what I'm asking is I would love to see the truth, like the actual truth behind to any ranking government official taking that stuff home.
Okay, let's say you're the FBI, and you're told you're going to go over and you're going to
find this
search for these papers.
And I find the papers.
Yes.
And I look at them. Mm-hmm. I'm probably dead because I'm looking at stuff I don't have high enough clearance.
That's true. That is very true.
Yeah.
And the people that probably worked in the garage.
What is that term called, Cindy? Where it's like, it's the way it's like how people say like, "Oh, you don't have high enough." What is the saying? How's it going? Like. You not do what you're told. It's more of like it's above your pay grade.
Yes.
And people like follow it. They're like, "Don't open the package. Whatever it is, you do not open it. it's always something really bad, like a child or something like
Yeah.
that. But I can just see these FBI guys going like, man, we're getting paid to do this.
to search through somebody's house.
Yeah.
And they have his permission to go in there and search. And so they say, okay, so we're going to be there probably about 10 o'clock on Saturday.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you? And he goes, yeah, sure. You guys come on over. We'll have coffee, donuts.
Well,
Come on.
regardless if they're given a heads up, it's just.
Yeah. So if there's something there, then I don't know how many houses this guy has and where else he could be hiding these. But it's
Trump's probably got stuff buried in the golf courses he builds. That's probably why he builds them. Because it's large plots of land and you can just bury stuff.
And buries it. Yeah.
Buries all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Pablo Escobar burying all that money all over Colombia.
But here's the problem.
Makes sense.
Is that in his family, and who was renting the house where they found?
Oh, you just love reading this propaganda.
No, this is not propaganda.
It is.
His son was making so much money from China, and
what's wrong with making money from China?
Because he didn't. It's not that he didn't deserve it. He wasn't qualified for that kind of money coming into him.
Nepotism isn't illegal.
If it's nepotism, it's worse.
It's not illegal.
Well, he cannot be selling access to his father.
Do you think he sold him a house key? You think hey, China, I got this house.
They didn't need to. They could come on in.
My dad's car's there. You want to drive it?
Yeah, that's right.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on
I'll
this.
go for a spin on his car, and y'all just.
Well, see, the worst thing about these
want.
scenarios is the public. We still don't understand the chain of command of what really needs to operate here, because they get people like you riled up. And it's this is just normal. People just have classified documents everywhere.
It's not normal.
Well, it seems
it's not
like
normal
it is.
for somebody
It
that's
seems
not
like
the
it
president, because the president can declassify him, but a vice president can't. A senator can't. They can't do
He
that.
probably has an IOU from Obama. It's oh hey, he told me I could.
To go
Yeah.
like you got a permission slip
look
from
at Pence.
Obama.
They're saying Pence has it now. I bet everybody has classified documents. I bet everybody does.
Well, but they
they're not
weren't
gonna do
supposed to
anything
be.
about it.
They're not supposed to be being kept like that, and it's dangerous for our security, for the country's security.
So what do you want? What do you want to happen, Cindy?
I want them to get Obama. I mean, not Obama.
Oh, here we
I
go.
want them to get
That's
Biden
and slip.
and Hunter to sit down in front of Jim Jordan and let him
that's not gonna
just.
happen.
Jim Jordan is such a.
They're gonna just tell him shame on you.
Well, that's all it's going to be, because right now it's such a win-win situation because
I don't see why you waste your time with this stuff.
because they went in there and they did the thing to Trump that they did.
Well, yeah. Well, they're always going to do stuff like that. They're going to shoot themselves in the foot. It's going to happen more often now because of just technology. People are going to have access, and people are going to figure out stuff. The thing that, again, we don't know the protocol to classify documents. Do you? I think it's suspicious that this is randomly starting now. Randomly, it's there's always something behind it, and it's who discovered the documents in the first place? Was there a whistleblower who
there had
so?
To,
that's what I'm saying.
Somebody must have called. Because he calls his lawyers and says, "Go search." So he calls his lawyer.
It's a pointless thing until no one's going to care.
Go find it. If there's something that looks bad for me, make sure that goes away. And
think about that one senator guy who's dating that woman who turned out to be a Chinese spy.
Yeah, Swalwell.
To me, that was a bigger story because it's whoa, you dated it? How long were they dating? That's kind of crazy, right? That's straight out of a book.
Yeah.
So it's.
And they just decide they're going to take him off of the
good.
Intelligence.
Think about that. That's such a Jack Ryan kind of storyline.
Oh yeah, it is, and so
maybe he was in love too. So we have to have some sympathy for that man. He fell in love and he got used. Apparently, I don't know.
And got used. Imagine that.
Yeah.
So
that's why I want to run for something so I can get used. That'd be great.
That's what you want to do is get used?
I wonder what they would do if I went on, say I'm a senator, and I went on eBay, and I'm hey, I want to sell access to me. See what people would do. I wonder how much trouble I could get in. and be like, "Oh, I was just kidding. I'll put it on eBay. Come on, guys."
Because you don't feel like anything would ever happen to you, right?
No, I'm wondering like what are the real rules here? Because I feel like selling access is doable, but you have to say it a different way. You can't just go on eBay and be like, highest bidder gets to hang out with me for dinner. That's what you say. Instead of saying highest bidder gets complete access to whatever they want.
Yeah.
You say, oh, I'm selling a dinner. And then that's when you get. I mean, isn't that what the Clinton Foundation got in trouble for? Where they're having all those donations and it's just to meet them. It wasn't even to like, they own a cool piece of property I want to have, or
right.
I need them to grease some wheels in the government machine.
And for her to bleach
I like it.
Bleach
I like it.
her phone, and so that bleach bit her phone so that
Oops! It fell into some bleach bit.
No, yeah, right, and no one could find out all she had. She had like 30,000.
I mean, again, it doesn't matter, Cindy. You're getting you're focusing on the wrong thing.
No, I'm not. I'm focusing on what
you watch
the
too much
danger.
Fox News.
What?
You watch too much Fox News.
That's my
Daily
children
Wire
say.
or whatever.
I watch everything. I watch Fox News, and then I go over and listen to CNN and see how they have distorted the news, and then I come back to Fox News. But
I mean, it's just it's a tiring conversation, Cindy. What else do you want to talk about?
and now, okay, all right. Let's see. Let's talk about the games that happen. And Texas lost like everything. The Cowboys lost. The U of H lost. And I think the Rockets. Did the Rockets lose?
Rockets have been losing for like 10 years.
Yeah. Well, that wouldn't be a surprise, I guess. But it was a terrible day for everybody. And I went over and watched the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys anyway, but I wanted them to beat the
49ers,
yeah. And it was like exciting because it was all tied up. But then it just like, don't they have sticky stuff on their gloves? I mean, so when they throw them the ball,
the sad thing about that game was like the Bills game, they were playing in the snow. So you kind of understood conditions cause you to drop the ball or slip. But then you watch that game, you're like, man, these guys are just bad at football.
That was sad though, because you wanted the other team to win because of the player that got hurt.
Why would that matter if they won or not?
Well, it would just be sweet if they won and got.
That's boring.
And you think that the other guys would go like, no.
That's what I loved when people were like, "Oh, the Astros won the World Series for is it Katrina?
Katrina?
Yeah." And then I'm like, "That was the year they cheated." So what is that supposed to mean? Like they really wanted to win for Houston.
I would have loved to sat through that if there was any kind of trial. They didn't do that, but if to see what they were saying made them think that they were cheating, or that they were cheating, that they were.
I mean, from what I understood, they just had illegal equipment that was deemed illegal post.
Right, but
that's from what I understood.
Well, they said stuff about people reading lips that they.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what they had. They had like camera equipment set up in the stadium, and then they would relay it in this like room that had like monitors, and then they would decipher the codes. They would decipher the play calls.
Well, one of the games, the Cowboy games, the 49ers coach was talking, and he had his paper.
Yeah,
like
same thing.
But you could still read his lips. I mean, it was still.
Yeah. Maybe they change it up every day. I don't know.
But
I mean, they had that Bill Belichick guy got in trouble for sending some dude to record practices of opposing teams.
Oh.
Like, I think the lip reading thing started because of him. Like, he actually had some people go film, and he could decipher the plays.
Well,
which is hilarious to me.
Well, back in the 70s when I was interpreting, the deaf would come and say, it's so funny to us because we watch these games and we can tell what they're saying. And if all I had to do, if I could call somebody and relay to them what they're talking about. But I love people that really were good.
That would get to the point where it's kind of like card counting in the casino, where it's like it's frowned upon. But if you're that type of brain person, like you can't stop somebody from doing that.
Well, they have the advantage that they have is just would break the bank.
Yeah, but it's not like they're using some type of system that they're relaying information to other people. Like they're just able to read the cards remember the cards and then have their own plan with that information in their head. It's not like they're writing things down and using little sensors or anything. So,
But I loved all the Ocean's 11 and stuff like that because they weren't worried about the card counting or the gambling part of it. They just wanted to, like steal.
yeah, if you can read lips, I don't see why. Because I think that was kind of the funny thing. Because when the Astros got caught, the language that they used, and I could be completely wrong about this, because for what I understood was they had equipment. They got caught post-season because someone reported it, and they basically made a rule in the postseason like you couldn't use that equipment. So they technically didn't cheat, but they cheated because a new rule came about, and they still had the equipment.
Oh, okay.
If I could be wrong, because they found out this happened, or they had a bunch of baseball teams doing it, and they're like, hey, we're gonna make this rule, and if you still have, they didn't say if you still have it, and so when they made the rule, they went and checked and they had it, and they go, yeah, you cheated. Does that make sense?
Well, it was funny because New York was the one that was blowing it all up, and then
they probably did the same thing. Well, I know that's what I'm saying because if you ever watched a baseball game and you have a runner on second, the pitcher freaks because they don't want him seeing the catcher and seeing him calling the pitches. Because if you have someone on second who's a smart player, he can sit there and just remember, oh, this is what this is what.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's not cheating. It's frowned upon, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why people get beamed in the head and all that kind of stuff. And,
right.
But
Ooh.
it's the same thing. I think they just put a camera in the center field and
And they're not supposed to show a tight shot of that, but the TV's showing it.
That's what I'm saying. It's really strange. It's really strange. Because you see the players evaluating their swings, after they get out or whatever, and you see them on the pads, or like couldn't they easily? Couldn't they just go like? Oh. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you got to be kind of a smart person to decipher pitches, and that's why they're doing that new pitch tech where they have a speaker.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Which is smart. I mean, I don't see why.
I don't see why the catcher's not just saying it to him. So they can.
They have it now. They have it now.
So he's hearing him.
Yeah, if you look at certain catchers, there's like a black panel on their, either on their knees or on their shin, or they keep it and they have buttons on it, and then they can push combinations on it, and a little speaker says
okay,
strike, upper.
And then they shake their head. I don't know how long they can keep shaking their head, and they go you've got two chances. I don't like anything you're asking me to do. I'm going to do it myself.
But that kind of eliminates the whole stealing.
Right.
So stealing signs.
But that's so it's only the pitcher and catcher that has this ability.
I think there's one other. I think the third base coach might have it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
He might have a speaker, but he didn't have the ability to call the pitch.
My grandson just had to audition for a place on the team in Little League.
Yeah.
I didn't know you have to audition for that.
I think it depends on what age you are.
Well, they're 10. He's 10, and so, but he had it.
Is he doing Little League, or is he doing YMCA T-ball?
No, Little League.
Yeah, it's Little League. Yeah, they have
tryouts.
That's
so strange. I thought everybody got to be. I mean, first.
Well, no, because Little League is competitive. So YMCA baseball is not competitive.
Oh, I know.
So, but Little League, organized Little League is competitive. So, the coaches get to pick their players.
Well,
because I remember I did Little League all the way through, and it was basically after the first 2 years, the coaches knew who we were, and so they would talk to my parents, and they'd be like, "Wait, we really want your son to play on our team."
They would. They try and get. What would they offer?
I don't think they really offered anything. I think it was just they knew they needed a second baseman, so they're like,
"Ooh, that's terrible." I thought you'd have to live in a neighborhood. You had to live within the.
Well, a lot of neighborhoods are big.
District.
Yeah.
That's terrible. But Samuel and Cindy played for the Y. Played soccer for the Y.
Yeah, and they don't.
I didn't know. I didn't know that you couldn't yell and say.
Yeah.
Yell for them, and they didn't like me being there at all. They're like, Grandma, you can't yell at us. They don't want you to yell. They just clap and just be support everybody. Don't just support us. And I don't want them to win. I want y'all to win. It's not how it
But I think it
goes.
depends if they're like 5 years old, Cindy. It's kind of weird shouting at a bunch of 5-year-olds.
Okay.
Now, if it was like
They were like
14-year-olds,
yeah.
you start putting the fear of losing in their heads.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what because when Cash started playing Little League, and I said, "Can we yell?" And they said, "Oh yeah, you can yell now." And I'm like, "Yay!" And so we do that. Come better. It was crazy, and I did that all through my brothers playing all that, and it was so much fun to try and rattle the players and make them swing and they think it's their team saying swing. That's terrible. Now, I mean, I look at that. That's shame on me for acting that way. But it was get too competitive. I can't help it. I just am that way. But anyway, what we have not talked about today?
Well, I do want to comment. You know how they always say like the participation trophy's a thing?
Yeah.
Well, every time I hear that, I was like, y'all never seen competitive like youth league stuff, have y'all? Because like the division happened somewhere down the line, like 30 years ago, like baseball, basketball, not necessarily football, and like hockey and soccer. Something happened with the parents who really wanted their kids to be competitive. They created their own network of baseball or soccer, like leagues. Mm-hmm. So they might have like a youth league in your local area, but then usually if there's a big youth league, there's a competitive league that's travel, like a travel team. And no one ever talked about that.
No.
Because not everyone gets trophies in that.
Oh, okay.
But like I was like, that's why everyone gets a trophy, because those are the players that suck. Because the players that are good are on these travel teams.
Yeah, but you have to pay, right?
There's a gate. It's gatekeeping, but also that's where the development is. Like you ask any parent today, it's like if your son's really good at baseball, what do you try to do? Well, he wants to get better. Well, how do we get him better? You got to join a travel team because they develop the children. They don't.
Oh.
It's not just like, oh, hey, come over and we'll play catch. It's like, no, we'll sit there. We'll go to the batting cages. We'll do fundamentals and yeah.
Oh, that's great. Well, I think it's going to be. I love the baseball season.
But yeah, that's what I just want to make a comment
wait.
because people always complain about participation trophies. Like, no, there's still competitive, like high-end competitive stuff going on for kids. It's not like it just disappeared.
I think it's sweet that the YMCA wants everybody to win, everybody to get a trophy, and everybody to.
Well, I think the YMCA's main goal is just the program itself. It's not necessarily like, hey, if you get a gold trophy, you're going to be like, we're going to give you money. Mm-hmm. So like, we're here just to run a program.
Right.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
So because I remember when I was playing baseball, and we do in our neighborhood or in our district, there was a lot of kids, and then when we started getting up in the age, that's when the select baseball teams started developing. Like I think at the earliest you'd get in it was like 12, and I remember we were playing, and our team was pretty good, and the coach was really involved with his son, and so we go over to his house and we all do we go to the batting cages for a day. We all bring $10 or whatever, and he'd bring us in the butts or whatever. But then when select baseball happened, it was completely different. And they wanted to hey, we want Richard to come try out for select baseball. I know I can get him on a team. We'll do this. And then they gave the schedule to my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom's like, "Do you want to play baseball 5 days a week?" And I was like, "No, I do not want to play baseball 5 days a week." But that's what it turns out being is especially during the summer, you're going to like 3 baseball camps,
mm-hmm.
and you're doing crazy stuff, and then you have tournaments. So like you'll be going 2 weeks out of the month for 5 months straight playing all weekend tournaments. You'll be playing like 6 or 8 games.
The poor little babies, they got school and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But if you want to make the big bucks, I guess that's what you want to do.
I like it.
Sam went and played in the farm. They put you on the farm before they bring you up to the big show.
Yeah.
And he went and did that for a while, but he thought, nah, that's not what I want to do. Yeah. I went, you could have been, how much money you could have made?
Maybe.
Yeah. That's probably why he saw these people are serious. That's what I always thought. I thought I,
mean,
was
now,
like
parents
serious.
are serious. Especially soccer's even worse. Soccer in Texas is like strictly select. Like there's not really developmental stuff around. Like I think the local Lions FC, like that's a separate program. Like you're paying high dollar to play soccer.
Oh, that's
Because like
that's
football
amazing.
doesn't really have that problem because football in public schools is huge. So they don't have a problem developing kids.
not at all.
Some schools with baseball teams don't have that trouble either. Like they have a good system there. Like I remember, like the school I went to, the coaches were really like baseball was their life, but they would always encourage like my brother to go to this thing outside of the normal high school baseball team. It's like, hey, if you want to develop this thing, here's a camp you can go to for a month or whatever and stuff like that. But football, they already have all the great facilities and
True.
the coaches get paid a lot of money, so the development's there already.
Right. Yeah.
Same thing with
'cause-
women's soccer. Women's soccer, I forgot when it was. It was like 25 years ago. They put this huge amount of money because they learned to work the system from the government for getting grants and stuff. And they realized female soccer and softball. But the problem with softball is there wasn't a major league softball. There wasn't like a pathway. But in soccer, there was for like, they could ultimately play overseas and stuff like
internationally,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, they use that to the advantage because you can get more girls. Because soccer teams is usually 11 people, but then you have 5 or 10. So usually it's like a 20 to 26 man team. So you can fit a lot of girls. That's why football is so successful, because you can fit a lot of kids in the system. Because most football teams have like 80 kids.
Right.
Like most teams are like 80. It's a lot of people. But yeah, that's why the women's soccer has done so well, because they put a lot of money into it way back when, and now.
But when you think of women's soccer, what image comes to your mind? I'm like immediately.
Women playing soccer?
No, it's when they won and that girl ran and
Took off her shirt?
skidded and took off her shirt.
I like
ripped
it.
Ripped her shirt off.
I like it.
That was that's the image. Anyway, listen, we haven't talked about Wootton Financial Group, and that's something that is very important to us. That's our sponsor. Like the kids and the baseball teams and all that have to go out and get sponsors, and that's what we're we're so excited to have Wootton Financial Group. And this is if you think, oh, I got to have a lot of money to do that. No, you don't have to have a lot of money to go to Wootton Financial Group, because they are looking for you to help you plan your retirement, or just plan getting ready to retire, or just starting out and you want to build your wealth. That's what you go talk to them about. And it's, no obligation. So you make that call to Wootton Financial Group. And I guess this is it. We're down. We're finished. Richard is so much fun to talk to, and we've gone over so many things. I hope you've been uplifted and learned a lot. Listen, have a great day. See you tomorrow. Stay dry. Stay dry. We love you, first responders.
Every week, people ask the same 2 questions. Are they ready to retire? Will their savings last for their lifetimes? Hi, this is Chris Wootton with Wootton Financial Group. Our firm has been in Montgomery County for decades, but the hopes and dreams of the people we serve never change. We help answer these 2 questions and many more that people have about their uncertain financial future. We have a simple introductory client experience that allows us to get to know the client and includes a few meetings for the client to kick the tires at no charge. We provide a concise, 1-page summary that helps the client get a better handle on which questions are the right questions for them. To learn more about Wootton Financial Group's process in helping their clients to a clearer financial future, and to see their contact information, visit Cindy Cochran's show page on irlonestar.com/TCCS. Wootton Financial Group is a proud sponsor of the Cindy Cochran Show. Wootton Financial Group is available by phone at 936-449-5952, or visit them on the web at www.woottonfinancial.com. That's www.woottonfinancial.com.
This program is sponsored by the Wootton Financial Group. It is not the intent of Wootton Financial Group to render or offer personalized investment advice or financial planning advice through this radio program or any related website. Wootton Financial Group's participation in this program is limited to providing general information on financial matters and should not be construed as financial recommendation or investment advice. Investment advisory services are offered through Game Plan Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission and the state of Texas. Insurance services are offered through Wootton Financial Group, Inc. Game Plan Advisors and Wootton Financial Group, Inc. are affiliated through common ownership, and neither firm is affiliated with The Cindy Cochran Show. No listener should assume that any information presented and or made available on this program serves as the receipt of or a substitute for personalized individual advice